Peace and welcome to the People of Power podcast. With I have a co-host this time, and Boy Inshangi. This is my brother and comrade. Yes, he is. He's a financial therapist, an author, and a culture curator. I mean, he's so much more than that, but that's just the humble version. We'll just start there. And he's absolutely qualified to be here to talk about wealth strategies and financial strategies and what's really going on with your bag. Do you get the bag? Do you have the bag? Is your bag heavy? Is your bag light? Is your bag traumatized? Whatever it is, we're here to talk about it. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about emotional baggage, financial baggage, health baggage, family conditioning, survival mode. Come on now, a lot of us know about that survival mode and how stress destroy your wealth. We also going to connect the dots with how illness impacts your finances, how unresolved trauma affects decision making, and why successful people still feel empty. It's got a lot of people out here that, got the bag, their bag might be real heavy. It might be too heavy and they still feel empty because a lot of people go, and they go after that money and they forget about their spiritual, emotional, mental, and holistic self. All right. We're also going to connect the dots with the hidden cost of carrying too much. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been the person that was carrying the whole financial load? We're going to talk about, we're going to get into it. This is going to be a good one. So let's get it started. And we're going to get the floor over here to my brother and Brave and Shungi so he can, kind of spill us in a little bit, as well.
Bless up, everyone. Glad to be here. Yo, this is definitely something that I feel is compelling to share with the world. We need to get out there and speak these things because I know I'm looking for things out these type of outlets, and we're looking for those type of spaces where we can identify with these things and not have to fight these battles ourselves. So to be in this space with you, Sister, is just, uh, although in divine timing, well overdue. I'm glad to be in this space with you, and I'm just excited and elated to see where this conversation is going to go because I love to freestyle it. So I'm looking forward to where we're going today.
Let's go. If you want to get
Yeah.
my introduction, you can go ahead, brother, so the people can know who
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am.
This is Sister Naima Nefertiti, and you're looking at man, an example of pure determination, will, uh, an auto dictator, one that learns for themselves and walks what they know. They're living what they know, and she's a nutritional scientist, a functional medicine practitioner. She's an author, multi-author, speaker, executive chief director of the Women of Power Empire, and also, most importantly, she's an autoimmune eradicator. I
Let's
think that is. Say it again. I missed it.
get those automules out of here.
That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? Because that's something that we all deal with. No matter whatever profession you are, health is going to affect you in any kind of way. And that's something that we need to spend more time on. So to be in the space with you and to be able to learn what Western medicine will actually hide from you is very important, especially as you look to if you want to age right, if you want to be able to be your highest self, especially as the longer you are here, we need to be more informed about how this machine works. So we're in good company.
Yes, we are. I am
Indeed.
so grateful. I've been excited about this one all day. I really have
Word.
because,
Yeah.
well, not even just all day, like all for some months now,
Yeah.
since we first spoke about it, because, these dots are absolutely connected. And even though people speak on it, do you speak, have we really heard like the scientific, the metaphoric, the spiritual, and the emotional awareness around, you know, health and finances? So when we
Mm-hmm.
say what's in your bag, let's start with the emotional bag.
Mm.
Let's talk
Mm.
about it. What's in your bag emotionally? When we talk about bag, you could be carrying around any kind of bag. You know what I'm saying? My,
Facts.
my bag look like this. Okay, my bag look like this. And later we're gonna go in my bag and we're gonna see what's in my bag. But let's talk
Word.
about what's in the emotional bag. Like what are you holding on to emotionally? And
Man.
and why? Why
Yeah.
are you holding on to it emotionally? We have to go all the way back to childhood,
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about what we're holding on to emotionally.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times from the womb, and this starts from epigenetic. See, I'm not going to go from being born in the house. Let's go all the way back to the womb because we did say spiritually, metaphorically, holistically talking about these these baggages that we're holding on to, and then how we're going to start really clearing and cleansing these bags, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and putting some lighter energy in our bag. So the emotional baggage, let's talk about that. I want to start from the womb in epigenetics.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your ancestors have been experiencing while you're in the womb of your mother, whatever stress she's going through, whatever bags she's carrying emotionally, you're now tuned in and tapped into that frequency. Now, through the bloodline, through the DNA structure, because the DNA is restructured with every single thought. Every single thought creates 30 billion new cells a day.
Mm-hmm.
When those cells are restructured, those thoughts and that emotional trauma that has been impeded and embedded in you through generations to come, through your blood codes, because there are codes in your blood from your ancestral lineage. And as you're taking on your mother's stress, her trauma, your grandmother's stress, her trauma, your dad's stress, his trauma, because the seed was planted. A lot of people only talk about what happens because of what's going on in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
But a seed has been planted in the womb with codes in it
Mm-hmm.
and then laid on fertile ground. So
Mm-hmm.
don't think for 1 second that you're not also taking in and culminating your father's stress, your grandfather's stress, your great grandfather's stress. So you have all of this that's coming into this new soul. Why this soul is formulating itself and its consciousness, its thinking, and its patterns and things to heal. Because we're here to heal. We're here to heal. So all of that is
Absolutely.
going on and being encoded in that seed, which is that being that came to bring an imprint to grow through whatever the overarching energy is that that being experienced during its traumatic time of trauma, stress, toxicity, overload, you know, mental thoughts and thinking that does not belong to that being, because everything you think doesn't belong to you. Sometimes you're catching and pulling in. So now
Mm-hmm.
you're emotionally traumatized with a overworked, fried nervous system before you can even be born.
Mm.
Then you come into the world, bright lights, looking at
Mm.
people you don't know in a strange environment. It's cold. You've been taken away from your parents, separated from your placenta, all in the matter of minutes. You
Mm.
have been traumatized again. Now that's fear. So when you're brought into this world and you're pulling in all of this trauma from all different epigenetic patterns, and your DNA is being restructured, like I said, per nanosecond,
Mm.
then you come into this world in trauma. Your body now is hypervigilant already. Already it's in flight or flight. Somebody spanking you, you don't know. You want to be, you get beat as soon as you get here,
Yeah.
and then plucked
Poke.
and
Yeah.
poked and pried it and just absolutely
Shots. Yeah.
trauma. Then
Mm-hmm.
your body is flooded with all kinds of chemicals, and for the babies that do not get the breast milk,
Mm-hmm.
their gut dysbiosis, where your true brain lives,
Mm.
starts getting affected immediately. And then we wonder how our children end up with diseases and disorders as babies and children.
Mm. Mm.
Why are we even wondering that?
Mm. Mm.
Why are we even wondering? There is no wonder when you look at the entire overarching picture of emotional baggage. We cannot leave out the beginning.
Right.
And then what does that do? It segue us into the world of trauma bonding, you know, trying to get through and work through all of this wounding. And then we're wondering why our bag is so heavy.
Mm.
We wonder why the bag is heavy.
I may add,
Mhm.
that's the thing that I think about is, I love that you started at that point because, when we talk about metaphysics, I'm a huge lover of the microcosm of the macrocosm theory that we're all a part of a bigger and also part of a smaller thing. And so when you come into this space here, we're looking at us as the physical in Boy Shangi, but what about that semen and egg, the DNA, the molecular compounds that come together to create this person before I am an actual heart beating being? Those things, that environment plays into that. And so then when you, as you said, emerge into this physical realm, you're inundated with the environment. It's like you're waking up in the middle of 5 hour or 5 o'clock hour traffic. I'm saying, in the middle of the lane going the opposite direction. You got to learn to dodge as soon as you get here. And you never really get to this, disturbs the pattern of your being, of why you're actually here. And that's the one thing where, in the biggest bag that I think about, that what made me want to become a financial therapist, is thinking about the detours or the things that are put in place to help you not focus on what you should be focusing on. Let's get you caught up into this so you'll stay in that survival mode, opposed to, okay, let me reassess what's going on, calm myself first, because when you are stressed, you're not thinking clearly. You're reactionary and you're not coming with a program. So when I think about that, we talk about stress, to me, love of acronyms, stress to me means someone trying to repair every situation solo. Is that we look at the situation and we figure, okay, well, I don't know who to go to for help, so I got to figure it out myself, but I have no clue. So I'm just going to just continue to suffer quietly and really never make a point of getting to a point where you can have the progress you're looking for because you don't know how to do it. You don't have any examples. The next person you want to talk to about it, one, you're either embarrassed to talk to them about it, or they don't have the time because they're going through what they're going through. So it's like you're by yourself trying to figure something out. Meanwhile, again, you're still trying to dodge the traffic that's coming at you. So I think that that's very good that you started with that point, and we don't spend enough time on that because when you deal with the origin of something, that's how you kill the weed. You go to the root. You don't snip off the limbs because they're going to grow back. So let's get to the core of where this thing really starts. And then if we're looking for the solutions, that's where we should focus our time on. So I'm appreciative of you pointing that out from the get.
Yes, absolutely. And to just add to what you're saying and pull it all in, you know, we have to be cognizant
Mm-hmm.
of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of times we're very disconnected to the power of frequency and energy. We have literally been, hoodwinked to think that that's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
How is energy spooky? Energy is everything. It's
Facts.
everywhere. There is no spookism to
Exactly.
energy, to
Hmm.
frequency. So when
Hmm.
so when you play in music, each note holds a frequency. Each one of
Absolutely.
those frequencies touch you a different way. Have you ever heard somebody play something you just automatically start to feel sad and
Hmm.
crying or get
Hmm.
happy and
Hmm.
joyful? Everything is a frequency, and we have to think about the frequency in which we're bringing our children into this world.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
to think about that frequency and what kind of emotional baggage that brings down the line. Now,
Yeah.
I do want to say this because I do understand that we all come here with an energetic pattern and thumbprint of things that we have to experience while we're here.
Right.
We have to experience it because it's all for the soul's growth. We can sit and we can have these podcasts and we can talk and we can speak about all of the mundane surface level, what's in your bag, girl, what's in your bag, honey? Some weaves, some money, some, expensive perfume, a ticket for a trip. We can go there. We're gonna go there. Because don't think for one hot second, I don't want to take a trip. I take me some trips, period. Or have the land or do the things or making sure that, I'm on point. However, we have to speak from the root. We have to speak from that root. We have to build on and deal with energy, frequency, and the true emotional baggage. How did it all begin?
Yeah.
And so since we tuned in and tapped into that, then what are the steps? Because we want to make sure that you understand that there are steps that can be taken, and conscious awareness, number one. Thinking about how, okay, you as a divine womb man, the mother, you first got to start be conscious of your thoughts because your babies are in you since birth, since you were born. All of your
Hmm.
eggs are there. So thinking about being aware of your thoughts and what you're pulling into your frequency. What kind of people, what kind of friends, what type of food, what type of programs you're allowing yourself to be programmed towards, how much water you're drinking, what kind of water, all of these things are important. We have to wake up.
Hmm.
We have to wake up. We can't stay asleep forever and then gonna be sitting around here complaining.
Right.
Complaining about what the children doing or why they acting out and shooting one another.
Hmm.
Complaining about corporations not caring about us and dumping waste in our community. See, all of that is just spinoffs
That part.
to the healing we're not doing. We can't keep making excuses. We can't keep giving way to addictions. We can't keep giving way to a lack of self love. It's a job. You got to do the work. Not just you, me, everybody. Because I do the work every day. I have a
Hmm.
self love routine, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. daily. And if I don't make it, that was because sleep was a part of that self love routine that rises.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But loving yourself, that's number one. I know I plaster it all over my social media. Every time I talk about self love, look at me. I'm loving myself. This is how I do it. I do all of that because I lead by example. I want you all to understand how to heal that emotional baggage because when you're healing in that, and my brother made a good point, and I want to piggyback off of that because a lot of times we focus on the absolute wrong thing. Our focus just be on the wrong thing.
Mm.
Too much energy is going over here instead of going over here and then pulling it together so it can go this way in a very positive, powerful direction. And how does that affect your health? I mean, how does that affect your money?
Mm.
Because your health is holistic. Be out here
Right.
struggling and see if you how healthy you're going to be struggling, or what kind of stuff, what kind of foods you can buy,
Hmm.
or places you can go, or what experiences you can have, people you can meet, your purpose that you can get in, creativity, all of those things. They created it that way so then we can be in a constant struggle of being outside of ourselves.
I
But when
think
you feeling afraid, you got to lean on the most high. You
mm,
always Someone is always there. Your ancestors is there, the most high is there, creator, universe, whatever you call it. I'm not here to debate about that. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna,
mhm.
all of them.
I think if I may add to that too is I look at I look at again, metaphysics is my probably going to be the foundation of a lot of things I say today. Seems like, um, but we're a machine, and a machine that is encoded, that knows how to do what it needs to do once you decide to allow it to do it. And what I mean by that is, you know, some of us have, we're not newborns. We've been here for decades. So we're trying to turn this thing around. We've already been, for those of us, the majority of us has already been traumatized. So how do I missed the boat. I've been infected, right? I have the malware in me of this world. But at the same time, I can shift and change that at any point. Your body can heal yourself, as you can attest, when you give it what it needs. Once you give it what it needs, both nutritionally, frequency, spiritually, whatever, denomination, whatever you speak to your higher, whatever, whatever you acknowledge. These are the things that allows you to regain and refine yourself and then get back on mission. And so that's the one thing that I look at, because we're all still out here experiencing life and trying to figure things out. And although in my perfect world, I would love to just be given the manual and I could just read it and follow it, right? No, you have to figure these things out because you have your own personal mission. You have your own things and items that you need to, I would say, attempt to accomplish. And maybe there's a grading scale at the end, whether you graduate or not. You know what I mean? I don't want to come back. I want to go to the next level. So my goal is to, as I'm here, and I've always been this way, even as a youth, is trying to figure out what my purpose for being is. And it's larger than a career. It's larger than how much money I can make. It's really about experiencing what it is in this mind that's telling me, hey, all this is an illusion. All this don't mean nothing. All the stuff that you see everybody loves to do, why don't you like to do it? Because it's an illusion. It's not, it just doesn't appeal to me. You know what I'm saying? I've had my phase, but I've always been wanting to elevate. And I've always knew there was something in the back of my mind and in the front, left, right, whatever, that was telling me there's something more of your experience that you need to focus on. And I think all of us has that in us. Some of us just choose to ignore it. Some of us, our spirit has been calcified so much that we can barely hear it. But once you rid away from some of those layers, that beacon, that sound, that vibration is always there. It's that station that's always emitting the right frequency. You just have to tune in on it. And that's something that I implore for everyone to find in their own way, is to figure out what that frequency is, that inner, deep. Like one of the talks I talked about is the most, I ask folks, what is the first rhythm you've ever heard? And people think they're thinking of some music, some song. And I'm like, no, the original sound you ever heard was the heartbeat. That was the first rhythm. That, and it's encoded
Yeah.
with so much data, so much information of your being, both past, present, and I would say even future,
Mm-hmm.
that if we were to tune in on that meditation, and meditation can come in many kinds of ways. I'm not really good at meditating quietly. I need to have some sort of sound. Sometimes I need to hear music, because in the music there's encoded, as we mentioned. So the point is that there's not one way to do it. It's whatever speaks to you that allows you to feel that you're getting there. And then obviously you commingle with other people to elevate and learn new ways, learn new techniques. Like I've learned so much from you, sister, that I am trying newer things because I know that I want to get better. So all the tools in my bag, I know what they are, but I need some new tools. I need some sharper tools. I need, so those are the points of the exploration. That's what life is really about. So I just, again, metaphysically, I'll always start at the core of this thing, because all this other stuff that we're here for is just, it's just a movie that really we don't have to ascribe to. They want us to, but I'm like, nah, my movie's different. You know what I'm saying? That's why I move different.
And you made some very valid, great points, and it actually segues us into family conditioning.
Mm,
Because that's the next, topic for us to kind of touch on is how family conditioning, and we already talked about the conditioning of what the conditions you probably came through, most of us, and that's everybody, because if you was in a womb, you experienced your mother's stress, her trauma, how she was feeling, what she was going through, what was coursing through her veins, as well as all of your ancestors, like we talked about epigenetics. But
mm,
also there's other family conditionings too, thought
mm,
patterns, mindsets, nomenclatures, things that, just patterns and habits, so that's from food to how your family think about money, how your
mm.
family, all of the different limitations that they have put around themselves, and then they put them around their children unknowingly, sometimes unknowingly,
Yeah.
however, those conditions have caused a thought process and a belief system within you that has now snowballed into childhood trauma, financial wounds,
Yeah. Absolutely.
where we're thinking you can only do so much, or you got to work hard all the time and not smart. What I'm saying?
Hmm.
There is so many different limitations and conditions that's been put around health. You might have seen everybody in your family getting sick, eating a certain type of way. I've heard people say, I can't listen. I've heard people sick now, not well, two shakes in a crumb from being in the grave,
Mm.
and say, I cannot give up my cheese. I cannot give up my ice cream. I cannot give up my French fries. I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I would give it all up to be well,
Yeah.
to be without that dis-ease. Because you first got to give up the conditioning. You
Yep.
first got to give up the addiction. And
Hmm.
the addictions come a lot of times from the conditioning of
Yeah.
what you've seen and what you've done on program.
Yep.
Even the advertisements all the time are advertising all of this junk.
Mm.
and even telling
Mm.
you that some of it is even healthy or okay
Mm.
in
Hmm.
moderation. That might be true sometimes, but I'm gonna tell you what, if you're sick, you don't need any more toxins.
Facts.
So we have to think about that family conditioning. Yes, brother, please.
If I may add to that, because that's what, as a writer, I felt like, this is the conversation that we don't talk about. And to me, whenever you look at an epidemic is when more than one person or more than one parties have the same thing. And I'll even say what's synonymous with epidemics is systemics. So when you have a system that's put in place to create the epidemics, this is
Mm-hmm.
where you understand that, okay, now you can say, okay, well, if there's a system, then there must be actually people behind this. And then there's a program, a protocol they put together to make this thing happen. Agitation propaganda is a modern science of mental programming. And this book I wrote called "From Railroads to Robots" really gets into the oligarchy of the systems that we're in, the actual persons behind it, your John D. Rockefellers, and even your modern ones with your Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk, is that they have a plan for you. And if you don't have a plan for yourself and you rely on someone else's plan, usually their plan isn't in your favor. So when we look at how is it that so many people that we love, that we know, that we're trying to say, hey, give this up, it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to give up fast food. But then if you're watching TV, every commercial, there's a fast food commercial. If you're not able to program yourself to see the conditionings behind it, because I can watch a fast food commercial now and realize, oh, I know what they're doing, and I'm not buying it. I understand what they're doing. It's about consume, both financially and orally. Take in this in your ear, take this in your eyesight, take this in your mouth, take this in your pockets, because they want to program you to live a certain kind of way. And to be honest, now that I think about it, this system is created to make you repeat your grade. Like in school, they don't want you to graduate. They want you to come back. They want you to keep repeating this over and over again because all the things that they're putting out there does not allow you to grow. It keeps you stunted in your growth. And it allows them to control and get the most out of you of what they want. And your life really is, as I would say, it's not as fully fulfilled as it should be. So when you see it as a systemic design, it's easier for me to realize that I am a victim who no longer choose to be one. Now I can say, okay, I can take control of my diet. I can take control of what I consume, the type of people I'm around, the type of things that invite in my life, the things that, if I'm going to watch news, how it'll affect me. What will I do to recharge myself if I feel like I'm being inundated with stress? Where do I go to relieve it in nature, etc.? I know how to now handle being on that freeway I spoke about. Now I got better moves. I know how to do a pivot and a swim and a spin, and I know that what's coming because I see the patterns and I know the game. And that's the goal because we really can't. I can't think that me as an individual can come in and change the world, but I can change my world in this world. I can make sure that I don't fall into those traps that they have set out for us. So yeah, that's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wrap that right on back around to the family conditioning because
yeah.
that's, the point that we on. So you may be experiencing real deep family conditioning of all sorts. You
Hmm.
might be witnessing alcoholism. You might be witnessing abuse. You might be witnessing financial constraints. You might be
Hmm.
witnessing poor health hygiene, poor spiritual hygiene, poor emotional awareness. You might be experiencing all of that through family conditioning.
Hmm.
However, you can come out of it.
Hmm.
All of us came out of it. I came up
Hmm.
from that. Boy, come from
Hmm.
that. And I know plenty of people that come from that.
Hmm.
If you all go and see my story on the soft white underbelly, I came out the mud. Literally, I'm a lotus out the mud from the streets. So, I can relate to being around all of the family conditionings of all sorts. And absolutely, the family are afraid for you to rise out of those conditionings because now it highlights where they're not doing their work.
Yeah.
And that brings up a fear. So you'll have people try to hurry up and get you back to being in those conditioning patterns, try to shut you down and shut you up Tell you, why are you eating that? Why are you trying to be healthy? Why are you, that's
Mm.
not fun. Because everybody put everything on fun. Why aren't
Yeah.
you getting drunk? Everybody else is getting drunk. Why are you choosing to eat healthy? Everybody else is eating this way. This is how this is what we're gonna do at the barbecue.
Right.
We don't have
Right.
time to be catering to you trying to eat no healthy food.
Hmm.
This is what we're gonna do at Thanksgiving. And
Hmm.
all of the holidays that's also keeping you stuck because those are also family conditionings.
Right.
Because when you do your real research on them, let's just take, for instance, we just celebrated what? The 4th. Listen, we were slaves. What you firing your fireworks for? What you doing?
And what do you know about fireworks?
What do you know about fireworks? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Number 2, we can go down the list, but I'm not gonna go that far because we only have a certain amount of time. So I'm just gonna keep it
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
right here in this little rectangle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna move on to talking about how survival mode and stress destroys your wealth.
Hmm.
Because we had to go to family conditionings first. Because
Hmm.
we had to go to epigenetics. We had to get to that root. We had to come down the ladder so you can understand the full scope of how all of this really happening. So when you start doing your detoxing, your spiritual, mental, physical, holistic detoxing from all of the conditioning and start to restructure your DNA and start to look back at how this all began and then how it's progressed. And so you will know what you need to do to start healing from that and
Hmm.
reversing that. Let's talk about survival mode. I've been there. When you
Yeah.
operating from fear, do not create anything out of fear. It's going to crumble down anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you. Don't create from fear. Create from trust. Create from knowing. Create from peace. That means that you also going to have to get your ego in check. See, the ego is always right there. They always put that devil advocate and the angel and that. That's the ego in higher consciousness.
Hmm.
Ego is always going to tell you, oh, this ain't going to work. How am I going to pay that bill? Oh, I don't have an education. I'm not smart enough. I'm not cute enough. I'm not fat enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not anything enough. You'll
Hmm.
never be enough. If it was up to the ego gonna point out every little flaw, but my lips, but my head, but my fingers, but the dent right here. You're gonna figure everything out you could figure out to put yourself down. And all of that puts you in survival mode. Trust me when I tell you.
Hmm.
How are you gonna create from there? How are you gonna create from putting down the very creation that the Most High is wanting to channel through to get the work done? How are you going to create if you're in constant fear? Your nervous system is constantly on alert,
Hmm.
constantly like, what's going to happen to me next? Instead of calming down and breathing, relaxing, allowing. Because guess what? If you're going to fear yourself to it not working, you might as well peace yourself to it.
Hmm.
Your choice. It could be a peaceful way or it could be a stressful way. If it's not going to work, either way, you choose how you want to feel about it. I'd rather be at peace about it and it not work than to be stressing about it and it not work. Because now I got a disease to go along with the bill not getting paid
Hmm.
or the money not coming through the way I thought it was going to come through or whatever trauma and drama other people has brought to the table or how people think about me, perceive me, whatever. The relationship not working, the job not going through the way you thought it was going to go through. You getting laid off? Okay. All right, it's done. Now
Right.
what? I just
What
told one of my clients today, this place right here down there could be on fire. I'm gonna grab my bag and I'm going downstairs and call the fire department. I'm not about to be stressing out about what I'm gonna do next.
Hmm.
Cause why? It's already burning.
Right.
So now I just gotta trust that if it's burning, that the creator has got a whole new beginning for me. That's way better than that. And burning doesn't have to mean a literal fire.
Right.
Your house could burn down spiritually.
Mhm.
It could burn down financially.
Mhm.
It could burn down emotionally. You could be in emotional trauma and turmoil in your head and so stuck in what's going on that you can't even think. All your energy is going there. How are you going to create? That's survival mode. You're in it. You're
Mm.
just trying to survive. We don't have time for that. We're in a new time and we have choices being in this energy of the fire horse and then this new beginning because we just came out of that nine, an ending. We're in a new beginning. You can decide right now, today, to let go of what doesn't serve you, including survival mode.
Mm.
What kind of mode is that on a game? Imagine if you was playing a game. You're gonna hit survival mode or turbo mode. Turbo mode. I'm gonna hit turbo mode.
Mhm.
Superpower mode, any other mode except survival mode. I don't want to be in that mode. That's
Yeah.
no fun.
It to me, like I look at because I'm thinking of like folks will say, yeah, that sounds great, but where do I start? Or how do I get there? Or what do I do? And I'm still dealing with these things right in my face. And first of all, having the will to even begin. I think some folks, and I've come across folks that will be like, okay, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna get all this information and then I'm gonna make a move. And sometimes, like, yo, plug and play. You got to get out there as you get it and keep moving because when you start, when you're going a certain velocity in a certain direction and you want to go the total opposite, outside of an immediate halt, which can be detrimental, you're trying to go the other opposite direction, you need to rev up, which means you need to start moving. If you're just going to sit there and wait for that time to come thinking you're not ready yet, then you'll never be ready. It really is about addressing and I can only speak from my perspective. I can't say there's one way to do it, but for me, how it works is understanding. Again, I do my diligence on looking at the problem. Then I identify the culprits behind it, and then that helps me stay steadfast on why I'm making this change because I know the people behind it. I know the reason behind it. And now I start to eradicate those things that I have fell victim to that have become part of my culture. So I start to erase these things, knock things off. I see it in myself. Okay, you're doing that pattern. Okay, I know why. So let's get rid of it. When you are in the active moment, when you're actively shedding these layers, when you're actively uh, really peeling off this decayed, calcified ways of this Western world, and you're peeling down to your inner core, who your true self is. It only happens when you start doing it. It's not going to fall off by itself. It's waiting there for you. I would say the success that you're looking for, the whatever the abundance that you're craving is there, but it's not going to be hand delivered by UPS or Amazon. It's not going to come and ring on your doorbell. You got to do the work. You got to have the initiative to put forth whatever it is that you know. You got to look in the mirror and say, okay, yeah, I know these are things that I need to straighten out. I need to chill on this. I need to chill on that. I need to stop on this. And don't be like, I'm gonna do it a little bit at a time. A lot of this ish, we need to do cold turkey. Today's the last day, or yesterday was the last day. I'm not doing this no more. And whenever I feel tempted, do you find whatever vice or person that you can appeal to talk you off the ledge so that you don't fall into that repetition? Because there is in addiction, there is the part of the addiction is the craving. So you're gonna have the will to want to do what you've been doing. So you're gonna be that tug of war of, oh man, it's calling me like Pookie was. Like it'd be cool. It'd be like because you want to do what you've been doing. Those endorphins are used to that. However, you have to mentally be like, okay, what's the bigger picture? Because if I continue doing this, I know where it's leading me. If I want success, you gotta do something different. And it's okay to get beat up, to be traumatized, I would even say, as long as you understand that that's not going to get the best of you. And I mean, I'm coming out of a situation myself that, really tested both myself and the ancestors. I was at a point where I was cursing the ancestors out. Like, what's up, y'all? Like, I'm out here trying to do this. I need some doors open. And I felt compelled to even, throw some profane things in there sometimes because I was feeling like I was overdue, not just because I was not because I just, felt like I deserved it, but I'm living, putting in the work to do it, putting in those hours. So it's, you know, I don't want to paint this picture that we're all like you and I, Sister Naima and I are like, we're in this space now. We are found and everything is golden. No, we still have our personal attributes and challenges we're dealing with. And that's where we're saying to you, the listener, is that you're going through some things. We're all going through some things. But guess what? You have the ability, you are equipped, you are that. As we might have the malware in our systems, we also have the healing software in our systems. All we need to do is channel in on that. And it's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some doing things you're not used to. It's going to take some cutting some people off. It's going to take some you doing things you used to love to do to stop no longer doing it. If you're looking at the bigger picture and you want to get there, that's the sacrifice that it would take. So that's something that I hope that, if it's one thing to take home with you, I hope that that's one of those.
Absolutely. So like really getting out of that survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's segue into how stress destroys your wealth and how illness
Ooh.
impact your finances.
Ooh.
Let's go ahead and touch on that, before we close out and we really
Word.
show you and talk about what's in our bags.
Word.
Okay? Because we got a bag full of goodies and we want to know what's in you all bags too. But let's talk about how that stress destroys your wealth. Like you can have, and wealth is defined really differently. It's a case by case situation. What
Mm-hmm.
wealth is. Everybody have a different definition of true wealth. How stress destroy it? We can go on every level. When you're stressing, it destroys your mental wealth because you there's a mental wealth. You having a clear mind, a sound mind, is wealthy. Because imagine if you had Alzheimer's or dementia. Imagine that. Imagine dealing with any mental illness disorder. You're not going to feel wealthy because your mind isn't clear. You can't think clearly. But when you're thinking clear, absolutely is a part of your wealth because you derive thoughts from there. Information is channeled there. That is wealth because there could be a wealth of knowledge and information that you can hold, use, and transmute, that energy into physical things, projects, that bring in a wealth of finances. So stress absolutely will destroy your wealth, and then it leads into illnesses
Mm-hmm.
that drains your finances. If you're not well, take it from me. I just eradicated 6 autoimmune disorders from myself, lost everything. In my decline down energetically, I first started losing all my material wealth.
Mm.
That went first. Did I listen to what spirit was trying to show me about where I was misplacing my energy? No, I didn't. I continued on down the rabbit hole, all the way down to losing my health and being on a deathbed twice. Almost out of here. Using only 35% of my lungs.
Mm.
That's a wealth of oxygen that I was depleted of. Wealth of resources. I couldn't hold information because the synapses in my brain was so fried from inflammation.
Mm.
So I couldn't hold a thought for longer than 5 seconds. And this is me being very transparent.
Mm.
I lost the beauty of my skin, my body, out of here. The capacity to be able to chew, digest food properly. Pain riddled with it. Trying to work? Oh no. Really?
Mm.
I mean, you're talking about a woman who was comfortably living financially, comfortable, great credit score, all the, like my brother said, I say the things, all the things, all on paper, look great. Out there doing my work, being beautiful. And I went from that to literally looking 25 years older, not having any money, losing all my wealth. And I said to myself, I have been very disobedient to spirit. Because when I didn't have no choice but to lay in that bed
Mm.
and I couldn't go anywhere,
You and your thoughts. Yeah.
the only thing I could do was think.
Mm.
The only thing I could do was meditate. The only thing I could do is reflect. And I reflected back to all the times I was disobedient because I was listening to my flesh instead of my spirit. See, I'm not going to do a podcast that's not speaking from some type of experience. Because I'm not here to give it to you textbook. I could do that. Very educated woman, I could do that. But what I'm going to give you is life experience. Listen to your auntie. I'm giving you life experience. And this is what we miss. I have so many people, including elders, ask me to be their mentor. Jetna. Thank you, my brother. Mm-hmm. I'm getting it together, my brother. I mean, I'm wordsmithing. I'm getting it together, but I don't mind autocorrection because we want to be writing exact around here because it's a frequency. Flex. And those words hold frequencies. However, I've had many people ask me to be their Jetna. And for the ones that do not know, I'm going to let my brother explain that in just a second. Mm-hmm. However, the reason why is because they have seen my experience. What I've been through. See, I had to go to the depths of hell to get these keys. And I had to make it back to tell the story. So you don't have to go to the depths of hell. You don't have to. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go. See, back in the day, we listened to our elders. For the young ones that's out here, that's hopefully you still here with us, listening, because you all ask all the time for some type of guidance. And here it is. It may come in the form of a podcast, the one you overlook because it's not talking about some silliness and some foolishness. Or you're not holding your attention span to sit in class. Your attention span is gone because of them Takis and them hot fries and all that sugar that you're eating that's frying up your brain cells. Mm. I'm just going to tell it like it is. Everything can't be funny and fun all the time. Mm. Some things is serious. They want you to stumble around so you can forget and you can sleep yourself to the next realm. And when I say sleep, meaning I mean, y'all think these movies they made be sci-fi. They're Walking Dead. Oh, that's a real thing. Almost everybody walking around dead because you're not awake. Mm-hmm. You're asleep. You're dead. You're dead. Consciously. To wake up and to live, you got to wake up. And you got to listen. I know y'all young people be like, my stomach hurt. I got a cold. I'm sick. I know y'all do, but then y'all back to the same thing. But listen to your auntie. You got to live. What? You how old are you? You're a teenager that's watching this probably in your 20s, even your 30s and 40s. You got to get to 50 and 60 and 70. You got to get there. Do you want to get there on a cane?
Right.
Do you
Right.
want to get there barely making it? Or do you want to get there strong, vibrant, healthy, still living your life, traveling, enjoying life? You think life ends because you're 50, so y'all are, looking at us and calling us old and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's a privilege to get here. Because a lot of us don't make it.
Facts.
A lot of us don't make it. When you get here and you still looking great and you still got your health and you're vibrant and you're strong, trust me, you're going to be happy you got them keys without having to go to hell to get them. You don't always have to go through the exact experience. You can learn. We supposed to be building on top of each other.
Right.
Every generation is supposed to get better. You're not supposed to be stressing yourself into wealth, into illnesses when you got the money, you living in the big house, but you're so sick.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even enjoy it. And that leads us into why successful people feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust me, because people's like, well, Niemah, what about the people who, listen to their ego and they do all the ugly things and nasty things that end up with the money behind it? They're an empty vessel. And they have no way to live. Go ask them. Just go talk to them. Go talk to you one of them. Get you one of them checklists of what not to do. Because you can learn that way too.
That part. Yeah.
You can get around people and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, they got the Lambo. Yeah, they got the Bugatti. Yeah, they got this and that. Bank account fat, big, beautiful home, jet set and everything. And they sad and sick and sad. An empty vessel. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not saying that. Let me clarify. Because I know some billionaires out here that's beautiful humanitarians. Full of light and life. So yes, it can absolutely happen that way. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to say, because everything is energy. It's all your choice. You could choose to get it this way where you're an empty vessel, because that's what you thought you had to do, because that's a conditioning. That's a societal conditioning to make you think you got to do all these things and sell yourself short and your soul and freaking your whole bloodline soul to get $1. Okay? You do not. You got to be patient. See, we want to rush to the finish line. Right. You want to skip steps. You want to go from A to K. And from K to Z. You can't. I'm sorry. All right. You can. But guess what? With those skipping steps comes consequences.
Yeah. The lesson.
Do whatever you want to do. But you will deal with the consequences of skipping those steps. Vital steps. Like learning, growing, getting your spirit right. Why would you want all that money in your spirit that right? Guess what you're gonna take yourself up out of here. You're gonna addiction yourself out of here. You're going to go down this way. You're gonna worry so much about entertainment and the who's who and the this, that, and all that, and the what, who, where, what clothes, what, why, where. Honey, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, if he was on that deathbed, I bet you that gala, that dress, the red bottoms, that Gucci bag, I bet you would give it all up to be with. And for the ones of you out here that's not willing to give it all up to be well, more power to you too, because that's your choice. Mm-hmm. And I'm not here to twist an arm. I can give you the information, but I will not shove it down your throat. I am not the one. I'm not going to do that, because see, I'm not here to do that. That's stressful for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm out here staying youthful, and I done got myself, eradicated, and I'm living my best life. And that would not be interrupted by trying to spoon feed and shove anything down anybody's throat. I am living proof of what I'm talking about. Works. I'm living proof that when you come up off that stress, that your finances and doors and things start opening up because you didn't skip the steps trying to hurry up and get the money before your spirit, your emotional, mental self was in order to be able to handle it. You want to know what the delay is? Check your spirit. Check yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Even the ones of us out here that proclaim to be spiritual, not getting up and doing that work,
Mm.
skipping steps. You gotta do the work, or that frequency will be too heavy for the shaky foundation you're trying to build it on. So it falls through the floor. You end up without it again. Back to the drawing board. Back to survival mode. The mode that I don't want to play on.
Mm-hmm.
Back to that mode. You want to get off of survival mode. You want to really truthfully, live a foundational, strong, life that's balanced. You're going to need these things. One, you're going to need to book a consultation with my brother and Inshangi as your financial strategist. Two,
Therapist.
therapist. Two, you're going to need to also book a free 30 minutes consultation with me about your overall arching health and wellness as your nutritional scientist and your functional medicine practitioner. Three, you're going to need to do your own research. You're going to need to love yourself. Even if you decide to look us up and see what we do and how we can actually take part in leading you down a path that can change your life holistically, you're going to need to do your own research. You're going to have to take some time to dig in yourself. See, we can't do that for you. You got to go back to the trauma and take a look at it and don't run from it. Don't scroll it away. Don't sex it away. Don't sing it away. Don't play your instrument away. Don't do any of that. Sit with it. Feel the emotions of it. Feel the anger. Feel the fear. Feel the doubts. Feel the words. Feel it all. And then journal it out. So you could really start doing the work and then create a roadmap to healing. What do I need to heal? What hurt me? Who hurt me? Who I need to write the letters to? Who do I need to forgive? See, everybody, forgiveness, I don't heard so many people say, even on my interview on the Soft White Underbelly, some people say, I can't forgive you, forgave your dad. He was a monster, blah, blah, blah. That might have been so. But see, forgiveness is for me because I'm not carrying that bad. As a matter of fact, here's my bag right here. It's my bag. Okay. Let's see what goodies we got about that. But before we go at my bag, because I got my brother over here and he got so much wealth of information and knowledge to give, I want him to touch on how stress destroys your wealth and how illnesses impact your finances. And then we're going to get in his bag. And then we're going to come back to my bag.
No doubt, no doubt. No, I veg back on everything that you're saying because I love the angle of you're coming from a health perspective and I'm from financial base, and they both are part of very prominent parts of our lives. And for me, when we've spoken about fear, and as I mentioned, I love acronyms, and fear to me breaks down to funds exhausted, awards, restrictions. Like if you don't like, I know from my upbringing, we used to window shop. I see stuff that I wanted. Oh, one day I'm gonna get that. I'll be sitting there, nose all plastered on the window, looking at that thing that I wanted to get. And maybe then back then they had layaway. Don't have layaway these days, but you would put something on it and eventually own it. But we have a lot of this things that we want to attain, and we don't have it right now. So we would work towards getting that. Um, I don't think that that's actually a bad thing to even have in today's world in regards to the wish list of bettering yourself. To me, the biggest problem I find that is synonymous to what Sister Naima said was that, with the health aspect of it is if you take care of yourselves, I think you'll be able to take care of yourself. And I spell the word yourself with CELLF instead of SELF. Because your
Mm.
cells,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
your cells listen. They are
Yes, they
they're
do.
nodes. Their
Yes.
nodes, they listen to what, if you're not feeling good, they
Mm-hmm.
all respond. Okay, we're not feeling good today. All right, we're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, you have employees inside you that respond on what you're mentally projecting. So if you
Mm-hmm.
tell your body, I'm not feeling well, it reacts. If you tell
Mm-hmm.
your body, I'm not open to receiving, you will not receive. But if in
Mm-hmm.
contrast, you open yourself up, you want to better yourself mentally, it's said that if you start to think a certain way, your body not only reacts, it can project. Okay, well, let's go do something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go and get some of these toxins out. Let's go sweat. Let's go do something to get the cardio up. Let's get the body movement going. When you are elevating and using this engine that's in your body, the again, I equate things to machinery, is that when all cylinders are working, you have fire, you got combustion, you got excitement, you got life. So I understand in the world that we live in, finances have gotten in the way. Working, we are the only living species on this planet that has to pay to live here. And that's been indoctrinated in our mindset. I have to pay for the ground I stand on. But no animals are paying, realtors. You don't see birds paying realtors to put a nest up in a tree. But we are paying for the land we live on, right?
Right.
We have to pay for the water, everything, that the plants, the food that grows naturally. It's funny because I see these memes and I think about this. It's like only humans would put pesticides on plants to stop insects from eating it and then eat it themselves. If it kills the insects, you think it's not going to kill you?
Just make it make sense for everybody.
Come on. But that's the mindset. That's the Western troglodytean mindset of thinking that I must own. I am the ego of thinking I am God's greatest creation when you're not. And everyone else is just being in alignment with living their lives. But we have to somehow, when I say we, the species entirely, not melanated people, because we weren't always like that way, but I'm just saying as a collective, the human species feels like they are the most intelligent, so therefore they can make the decisions. They're the ones that feel like they can decide what the temperature of the planet should be, the quality of the water should be, all these different things. So that's all monetized, I mean, monetary driven and control driven. So when you are living in a society that is projected based upon success as being how much you make or how much you're in debt for getting certificates to claim that you're intelligent, then you spend the majority of your life unfulfilled. So for me, the reverse osmosis of that is to see that, look, I'm not playing your game. I understand what this system is. And now I will take this information and apply it to work for me, not instead of against me. So as a financial therapist, that's one of the things I focus on is teaching you your relationship with money. We've never been properly introduced. It is a mental psychosis of the way our behavioral patterns are, and it's not by coincidence. I'm sorry, it is coincidence. We talked about this before. We say not coincidence, but it is a coincidence. It coincides. The way people are behaving in this world, spiritually, physically, mentally, is tied with the same way they did with their finances and their concept of money. They get it and they get rid of it. They don't know how to invest it. They don't know how to make it work for them. They work for it. When you change that psychosis and you understand that you are in control of your domain, you're in control of the projection you want to go, then that window shopping mentality I opened about, now you know, because when you want to window shop, all right, I need to put away this amount to get to this, right? You're budgeting. So do the same respect in the rest of your life. I'm budgeting. What is my monthly expenses? I know what they are. So I know what I need to do to get to that point. When you start window shopping your finances, you will find yourself less stressful. You will find yourself being able to project the type of lifestyle that not only do you want to live, but your bloodlines. So I'd be happy to help you out with this. This is the work that we do, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Give us a little bit of insight on when you say window shop your finance.
Yeah. You know, we've been taught that, we're jaded about the mindset of budgeting. Budgeting, a lot of us, as long as it's in there, I'll pay my bills. We don't know how much we have left over. If we got a paycheck that covers our expenses, We kind of got an idea of what we got coming in, but we pay the bills. We don't really, uh, we don't really put a cap on things like, okay, this is the food bill. It's going to be 400 a month. Sometimes it's 600, sometimes it's 300. Like we're not tracking what it is that we're spending. And that's the problem because folks don't understand the concept of cash flow. They think cash flow is after I pay my bills, which are the basic necessities, your mortgage, your rent, your car note, etc. But you also spend a lot. There's a lot of frivolous spending. A lot of us are frolicking within paychecks to go out. It's the summertime. I want to go to the club. I want to go to get some drinks with my friends. I want to travel. So we're not budgeting those into. They're not factoring those into our budget. To me, when you're window shopping your budget, you are itemizing everything, every single down to the roundabout dollar of what is coming out. When you understand, I'll just give you this example. I call the financial endurance number. If you are, let's just say you have $1,000 to your name. I'm sorry, $3,000 to your name, right? That's all you got. You got a $3,000, no more money. You live off about $100 a day. How long will that $3,000 last you? 30 days, right? So your financial endurance number, meaning whatever it is that you're living off of, that 3 grand is going to last you for 1 month because you're spending $100 a day, right? Now, what if you have 30,000? What if you have 100,000? What if you have 1 million? And you still spending whatever dollar amount? You do that division and you know how long your money will last you, right? So to know that number eradicates so much stress because a lot of us, we don't know what the number is. We're just going paycheck to paycheck. We're not realizing that next Monday you're going to get laid off and you're going to have to live off your savings. Do you have enough to last you 6 months, a year, 5 years, for the rest of your life? And you will not, no job is obligated to pay you for the rest of your life. So you're earned, if you don't have what is called passive income, meaning money that's made without you doing the work, or it's your own and it's not tied to an employer, no employer is obligated to pay you for the rest of your life. One day you will get let go. And one day you will be too old to get hired. And in addition to that, we got automation that is taking over human jobs. So your ability to earn is in peril. So I advocate learning about finances, not the old cliche term, oh, let me help you, change your, get your credit right. No, understand how the monetary system works and then to flip it to work for you because we should not be working for money. The rat race psychosis is a symbiotic systemic plan put together by the Rockefeller Foundation.
But let's talk about the unresolved trauma.
Okay.
Let's talk about unresolved trauma and how that affects the decision making because a lot of this decision making is dealt with, is happening because of unresolved trauma.
Absolutely.
Okay. See, now my brother here, I absolutely, just really have a huge respect for his brain, but I'm about to challenge him on something. Because, see, I'm not going to point any fingers at any foundations, any people, anything, because the power of all of that is within you.
Facts.
To make those changes. Period. The power is in you. We have to stop giving any foundation or any people or any family the power over us to even think that they, no matter what they doing, I don't even care. I don't even mention their names because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not focused on what they're doing. I'm only focused on my power, what I'm doing, what I'm pulling in, and directing my energy. Because anywhere you put your focus, that's where your energy goes.
Well, if I may push back a little.
You can. That's what we're here for. Let's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that's exactly. I agree with what you're saying. I also will say a lot of us don't even know that we're part of something that we didn't sign up to. Like the habits that we have, the monetary behaviors that we have, we've inherited. We were taught this. So,
Absolutely.
in order to understand that, okay, I didn't make this up. I didn't know I had a choice. I didn't know I could live off my savings and savings and investments. I never knew that. until I found out. So when you know that you can live off your savings investments, then you wouldn't be working because I'm going to invest and live off of that. But if you don't never know about that, then you're told, and we're indoctrinated as a kid. What do you want to be when you want to grow up? What career do you want to be? How much money you want to make? So we're told that we're indoctrinated to go work for somebody, to go work and make money. We're not told to go and be an entrepreneur. We're told to be a worker. And that's what
I'm
Rockefeller
in
and
agreement
taught.
with you, brother. I'm in agreement with
No,
you.
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
with that said is that it is a system that's put in place to make us think this way. But I agree that it is your decision. But some of us don't even know that we could have made a decision.
Because we have to heal the trauma first. See, this is the
That part.
whole point.
Yeah.
You're going to be born into
Yeah.
a lot of that trauma, a lot of those thoughts, a lot of that family
Yeah.
conditioning that we went through. This is the reason why we went through this whole emotional baggage, financial baggage, health baggage, family conditioning, survival mode. All of these things are happening because it is a generational, uneducated, mount of information that's being passed down in our families. So what
Mm-hmm.
we're saying is it's time to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for you to wake up, you got to care about your health.
Yeah.
You have to care about what you're putting in, feeding your body, what's
Number
going
one.
in through your ears, your mind, your soul, your skin, your breath, everything. Because we're talking about breaking generational trauma and rewiring our DNA patterns and
Mm-hmm.
healing ourselves epigenetically,
Mm-hmm.
holistically.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we do that? By staying focused.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay focused on what's going on in your universe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give your power, your energy away to anybody else and what they doing. Whatever, try to block some cocks and blocks they try to put up. Have you ever seen people who run the hurdles? You think they always look like they was flying? I'm sure when they first got started, it was knocking over some of those hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
But they kept going and kept practicing, kept doing it until now you can barely see their feet hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
When they're jumping over. They look like they're flying because energetically they are.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying to say to you and us, let's stay focused. Let's focus that energy exactly where you want to hit the mark. If it's number one, let's get down to some foundational stuff. You want to heal that foundation. Don't skip the steps. Don't be talking about you want $10 million and $30 million and put it on a shaky foundation of emotional, unhealed trauma, baggage. Let me get my bag. Let me get a card for you. Let me see what I got on my I am card. The first one. Watch. Woo! It came out. Don't play around.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your thoughts. They are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I made these for me so I could pull myself one as reminders.
Mm-hmm.
As reminders, okay? I just gave y'all one and we was just talking about the seed. Energy is real.
Right.
I didn't put that there. That just came out for you, me, and us. We have to watch our thoughts and our energy. See, y'all don't miss the whole freaking point. The whole point is to steer you away from your own power.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on yourself. I have a saying, I say it all the time. People who know me know I say it. I be over here minding my black home business. I ain't minding corporation A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not minding the orange man with the cap hair. I'm not minding nobody because they don't have dominion over my universe. I do.
Mm.
This is my temple, my thoughts, my power, my frequency, my energy, my rights as a sovereign being.
Mm.
Sovereign doesn't mean nobody else but you.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we did that, we said that let's get into what's in these bags. And we're going to start with my brother over here. So, brother, what's in your bag over there? You got a bag? What's in your bag?
I ain't got no bag, man. I ain't got no virtual. It's a
Well,
virtual bag.
it's a proverbial bag. What's in
Yeah.
what's in your bag, my brother?
I mean,
What's carried?
we're talking about what would I use as a coping?
No,
Keys
what's
for
in your
what?
bag? You got books in your bag? Okay. I got
Oh,
books in
oh,
my bag.
oh.
What's in your
Yeah,
bag,
yeah,
brother? What you
yeah,
got?
yeah. Man. I got books.
Let's talk about it. This
Yeah,
brother got books in his bag.
yeah.
He got strategies in his bag.
Yeah, I got a lot of things here. So, I'm a writer, a lover of culture, lover of our past, present, and developing future. I wrote my first novel this year, called 2048, and this is the book is basically talking about sovereignty in the age of digital control, and it's merged with when AI merges with Big Brother. So this is a futuristic story that speaks about something that's actually happening now, has been happening. And for the first time, or I've been looking for black sheroes and heroes. We're not written in our future. So I said, well, I'm going to write us in our future. There's not enough stories or movies out here that shows us prospering and still being able to exist on our own terms in the future. So that's what 2048 is about. I mentioned uh, from railroads to robots, which talks about the history of oligarchs, the way the system is set up, and by design. And for me, the history is important so that I don't repeat it. So I do busy myself with looking at what happened so that you won't have to, or to help you in your doing of your research, so that we can stop being part of this cyclical plan that's been put in place. Another book I wrote was called Who is the Boule? And this talks about the black version of those symbols that we have that have aided aided global white dependency to keep us in this space. Another book is my favorite financial book. I'm actually doing a part two now, but the first one is Apocalypse and Intergenerational Wealth Planning for Black People. This is a book that I wrote after being fired from the NBA for 12 years. Suddenly realizing that I am expendable as anyone else, that no job is safe no matter where you're at. And at one point, when you are dependent on a hand feeding you and it's not your own, that you have to find other ways to live. And that's why I decided, instead of getting back on another corporate plantation, I wanted to learn about how money works. And that took me into this journey of learning about putting together money methodologies that white rich families have been doing for over 2 centuries. Now we have that blueprint. I call it black print, and we put it into play. And you can now live off your savings and investments instead of working for money, having it work for you. Metaphysics and Spirituality, Analytical Computation. This is my very first book. If you're into metaphysics and in the spiritual foundation of your being, this is a semi-biopic story that talks about my reawakening back in college. And I have a couple other books that are dealing with 9/11 and also urban unrest, talking about um, the African burial ground that is in New York City, Wall Street area. We were actually the first commodity. So for me, history is important so that we know where we come from. We understand why there is so much. If you want to understand why racism is what it is, because there's something about us that they love and they don't want us to know. So when you understand that, because some people are like, well, why are they, always going against black people? What have we done? They want to make sure that we don't know who we are, because when we know who we are, there's no use for them. So understanding your story, knowing yourself, actually frees you and rids you of, yeah, having a panty mind of what they're doing, as you mentioned, sister. So that's in my bag for now. Appreciate it.
Okay. We love what's in his bag. He got
Word.
plenty of books in his
What did I
bag
say? What did I
that
say?
he actually wrote and scribed, because he is a scribe. He's a wordsmith. We call him all those things, and
Word.
he is absolutely an amazing, financial therapist, strategist, and planner, helping you direct the energy and the direction it needs to go. Also, he is also very logical when it comes to, financial therapy and understanding the therapeutics of the healing of finances, because there's a lot of healing that has to be done around financial literacy and all of these things because of the family conditionings, like we said, and, all of the trauma that we've been going through and living in a survival mode. And, he helps us get to see how we can get out of living in survival mode, even when you don't think you can, even when you
Word.
don't think there's no wiggle room. There's
Right.
always wiggle room. You just got to look at, where that energy is leaking out from. So
Exactly.
now let's get into what's in
Yeah, let's see
my
what's
bag.
in your bag. Let's see what's in your bag, sister.
My bag is from the
Yeah.
Bahamas, of course. It's my family lineage.
Word.
let's see here. We're going to start out with the first book that I wrote. You can get this free, called Raise Your Vibration Now, a guide to aging less, detoxing, and manifesting greatness. Why did I write this? I wrote this book during a time where I was actually in school. I just had a baby. I'm nursing. I'm full time, homeschooling my son at the time. And one of my Jetnas, which we're going to absolutely educate you all on Jetna instead of using Mentor, was actually telling me, I said, I can't do this. This is so much work. And no, we wasn't using AI to write
Mm-hmm.
our material.
Mm-hmm.
We were researching, handwriting,
Yeah.
typing, pulling the information together. And what I wanted to do, because I'm a humanitarian, run a nonprofit humanitarian organization for the last 25 years, and been doing work in over 12 different countries, islands, in at least about 20 different states that I've implemented protocols and, done work in, created and built various different type of programs, and also help with disaster relief solutions. Yes, your girl been out here doing it. But I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to put together a book that was an easy, simple guide. Because sometimes I feel like we can overcomplicate things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like information can be so complicated that you get discouraged. The person who's just like, well, what? Just give me the blueprint. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then
Right.
how that's gonna get me to the H. How is that gonna get me there? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what this guy does. And actually, because of my humanitarian work, I actually have it for free on Amazon. If you're on Amazon Prime, and you can just download it because I don't do print copies anymore. This is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else is in my bag. Another one of my books. So this is my workbook, 21 Days to Wield the Power of Your Womb. I hold online womb healing, consortiums where we get together and we womb steam and we talk, we sip our tea, we go through the 21 days together as a collective. And a lot of people that's on my social media, a lot of women on social media have been in those womb power powwows. They know how potent they are and amazing they are. We talk about moon cycle, the 28 days, being truthful about the 13 signs so that we women can really know and be set towards the true calendar, because our bodies are, and we're off, and we're constantly throwing her off mentally by not acknowledging she is only 28 days in the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't care how you try to chop it up, but that's the conversation for another time. What else is in my bag? Guess what? A journal. My gratitude journals. I want you all to kind of get a little sneak peek. Don't be trying to read. But I get up every day and I journal gratitude because it's so important. Another book I brought to the table to show you what else in my yes, you can leave this out. This is in my bag. The Eradication Detox Tea is in my bag. If you don't
Word.
have some, if you have never done my detox, I also do online 7-day detoxes as well. You all go to my YouTube channel here. You can go and hear another one of my sister and I actually pulling together a 7-day detox. But I do detoxes all the time. A lot of my work I don't show it because of client anonymity. Some people don't want to be seen. Some people don't want people to know they went through the detox, whatever, however, whatever. But I just know we do them. And they're amazing. I mean, people always love them. People always say, I lost weight. I gained clarity. I saw the parasites in my stool. And until I come out with my brand new labeling product and new formula, you can also order from me it in capsule formulation. It wasn't in my bag, but it was on my desk. Okay, but you can order it in capsules for the people who are traveling, and you don't need to do a deep detox. Now, if I was just a saleswoman, I would just be selling detox left and right. But listen here, everybody's not equipped to do my detox. Okay, so I'm not telling you just go. You're dealing with some illnesses, some diseases and disorders. You need to consult with me first. Go to Women of Power. It's right here on the screen, womenofpowerempire.com, and go hit the shop button. It's going to take you to all the protocols. I read blood. I do blood lab interpretations. That's important. You are an individual. There is no Google University that can get you there when you're dealing with a lot of these major diseases and disorders. You need to see what's going on in your blood. So then we could build your protocol around there, because we might have to get your system strong enough to handle a detox. It's like shaking up the rug. All of them parasites and all of them toxins going to come up to the surface. And if your body's systems isn't strong enough to handle that, you actually can get worse. I've seen people hospitalized over doing detoxes out of order. So we want to make sure that you're in order. We want to make sure that you're truthfully able to be well educated, because coming through my protocol is also actually an education. It's like going to school. A lot of my clients can contest to that because they learn. They have to do research too. When I send them their protocol, it is so thorough. They learn about codes, blood codes they never heard of. When the doctor goes through it, the doctor not going to time teaching you what those codes are. Some of them don't even know themselves. So we want to make sure you're educated on your body, your blood labs. We want you to be educated on what minerals, vitamins, and nutrients are missing and need to be put back in the body. And then we do a phase 1, 2, and 3, so we can make sure your body's systems are strong enough to handle a detox. Last phase is the detox. But listen here, if you are not dealing with any diseases or disorders, or you just want the detox because you're toxic, you have the toxoplasma that's asking you to go eat that Snickers bar and those fries and those processed foods and drink that liquor. You need your eradication detox tea. Effective immediately. Okay? Effective immediately. And it's a 4 weeks detox. You're detoxing for 4 weeks. So this detox right here, let me tell you something. Some of the herbs that's in my detox is not the everyday herbs you can go get to off of Amazon. Some of these herbs, you're going to have to crawl through some of the bushes and some of these islands and some of these, African countries. Yeah, I don't play around. Yeah, you won't be able to duplicate that unless you're going to these places and you literally are speaking to the shamans in these places and the healers and the herbalists, of these places, and they're actually trusting you. Because in the real world of true herbs, there's trust factor that goes on with you having certain herbs. Okay? So, you want to get your detox on? You want to get your financial strategist on? You want to know what else is in my bag?
What else you got?
A crystal cup.
Nice.
A crystal cup is in my bag. And another book that I'm reading that I have read about 4 or 5 times, The Laws of Human Nature. It's a really great read. Okay, I read it about 4 or 5 times, but I constantly read it because in order for me to do the work that I'm doing, I also have to be very well educated on the nature of humans so that I can work with people based on the nature of their imprinted codes. And of course, I'm not for everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Literally.
Right.
And that's okay. That's okay too. So now that you know what's in both of our bags, information to our websites and how to reach us will be in the description box. Make sure that you go visit and subscribe to my brother's page as well. Okay? He has What the Fuck, Crypto Rope, whoa, all of it. Okay? He is there. He's going to pour life into you. Take his page is like a library. If you want to go to the library, that's where you go. Okay? You just take your time and you just go down the library and you just watch, spend a day. You can say, hey, look, it's free education. Are you kidding me? That you would get at the college level.
History level too.
History level.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. College history.
Yeah.
We're talking about, the level of education that you can get for free on history, finances,
spirituality, metaphysics, all of them, yeah.
Metaphysics, there we go. And you can go there and you can just go down his library and take time. See, let me tell y'all something. I'm about to tell you all something very important. People like us, you have to support. We're the truth tellers. Okay? So therefore, algorithm tries to slow down the truth tellers. You know, you got people out here to tell some truth, but they also be telling some lies. And
Mm-hmm.
also, they'll be telling some truth, but energetically, their energy is frequency is still vibrating at a frequency of a lower frequency of people who's really saying one thing on camera and living a whole different life off the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dealing with truth tellers who also are energetically in alignment with what they're talking about, that's a different type of frequency. So we need you to like, share, subscribe. Stop treating us like we're a secret. We're not a secret. This is not
Right.
a secret. We don't get out here and work hard and do all this work to be your secret.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna go watch Niemah stuff in secret. I'm gonna go watch the boy being Inshangi stuff in secret. I'm not sharing nobody. No, we need you to like,
Mm.
subscribe, share, put on your notification bell, and comment. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not a secret. We need you all to assist us with the algorithm and sharing and getting this information out here. We all out here putting our work out here, putting our time and energy out here, not to be a secret. Okay?
Absolutely.
So until next time, we love you, we honor you, we cherish you, and we're here for you. So just remember, subscribe to my channel, People Power Show, where we'll have all different type of conversations around all different type of subjects that help elevate our frequency holistically, from health, culture, awareness, history, community leaders, doctors, holistic healers. They're going to be here because we also build in the community. So make sure you come a part of the community because we have some really amazing things going on in our little secret community.
Word.
And thank you all for coming.
I say,
And we will be waiting for you.
bless.